Hi, I'm Ian Anderson, and in this video I'm going to show you why you should care about curves for color correction. So here we are in Photoshop. So how do you add a curves layer in the first place? Well, you go to this thing, the little yin-yang, black and white cookie, Neanish chart, whatever you want to call it, and go to curves, and you'll get a curves adjustment layer just above. Now what can you do with that? Well, this little thing is where all the magic happens. If you imagine the image coming in here along the bottom, and it goes up, and wherever it hits this line, it changes direction, heads out that way. So 0 is 0, 50% is 50%, and 100% is 100%. But if you click and add a point here, the whole image gets brighter. I'll drop that there. And now you can see 50 is becoming, 72%, something like that. But there's a lot more change around the middle of the image. That is the grays, the midtones around the middle part of the image. And no change in the highlights, no change in the shadows, at least the very highlights and shadows, that is. But there's less pronounced change towards the ends of the spectrum when you just drag one point around. Now, with curves, you can make everything lighter, you can make everything darker, and you can even do both. If you push the highlights up and the shadows down, this is a classic S-curve. And this is how you increase contrast in an image without throwing anything off the highlights or off the shadows. So it's not too light, it's not too dark, but things are pushed away from middle grey. And if you look at the histogram in Photoshop, then you can see the before and after. Original, and then pushing things away towards the edges. Now, you can move these endpoints in if you want. If you want to maximize the dynamic or tonal range in the image, then by all means bring in the highlight point and then make your S-curve. Or you could use a levels adjustment layer first. That's what I often do. I'll add levels and then curves. So levels for tonal range and then curves for contrast. So I'll show you what that one looks like. I'm going to throw the curves away, add a levels, and I'm just going to hit auto. Now I've got it set, if you look under options, to remove color casts, enhance per channel contrast, snap neutral midtones, save as defaults. That's good. So that fixes the tonal range in most images. Now when I add curves, I can add contrast, and you'll see the histogram here has already been cleaned up. Now in this case I actually don't want it quite so bright, so I'm going to darken it down quite a bit just to keep it contrasty but make sure it's not blown out. And every image is going to be a bit different, but curves is the only way to get that really fine control here. Now that's one part of curves. I'm going to add another curves which is going to be purely to darken, and in fact I might drag down the high point just a little bit, and you'll see I've kind of trashed the image, made it too dark. So remember what I'm going to do. I'm going to name this layer and I'm going to fill this layer. How do you do it? D for default colors, Command Delete. Now if you're on a PC that's Control Backspace, but Command Delete on the Mac, and either way it fills the adjustment layer with black. Why black? Black was our background color when we hit D for default colors. So D, Command Delete, Control Backspace, and you've deactivated your adjustment layer. What do you do now? Well, B for brush, 2 or 3 to control opacity, so 20 or 30%. And you want to change your brush size to very big and very soft. So full hard strength is there and full softness is up. Now this shortcut's very nice. On the Mac it's Control Option, drag left and right for size, drag up and down for hardness. On the PC it's Alt right click, drag. So however you do it, it's sideways for size, up and down for hard versus soft. So I've got a 20% brush painting very soft edges, and I'm painting in darkness. Wherever I paint, it gets darker. So I can certainly amp up the vignetting by applying shadows around the corners. And if I go too far and want to take some of it out, I can press X to exchange the two colors, and now I'm painting the effect out. You can see over here in the thumbnail exactly what you're accomplishing. So on a mask, wherever it's white, it applies. Wherever it's dark, it doesn't apply. So it's very, very powerful. This is painting with light, and this is what Ansel Adams did in the darkroom when he was, correcting images a little bit like this. I'm going to very quickly do a level. So I'm going to go for auto and see how that works. That's pretty good. I'm going to go to curves. This time I'm going to make a lighten layer, but I'm going to deactivate it, fill with black, and wherever I want light, I'm going to paint some light. Let's get a smaller streak of light down here. Okay, I think I'm going to paint with some dark now as well. Darken, fill that with black, and paint the darkness in. Bigger. Dark around there, dark around there, dark in the middle, not that bit there, just darken over here. Maybe a streak through there. Okay, so the before after. Original, tonal range, selective lightening, and selective darkening. Those two together can make quite a big difference to the image. Now you can crank this up, you can take it a lot longer, you can focus a lot more on it, but curves is a super powerful way to correct almost any image. And yeah, you can do it in video as well. All right, hope that helped, and see you again soon. Bye-bye.